Internment camps were built to house 120,000 people of Japanese ancestry during World War II. And there were many assembly centers which were housed to temporarily hold the Japanese people in various cities throughout the country, or not the country, but in the West Coast.
My mom was pregnant, and when this happened, when we were sent to camp, and so we were first sent to Fresno County Fairground, and so I was born just in the Fresno Community Hospital, which was right across the street from the fairground. And then they were sent off someplace on a train, and I was only not even a month old, so that my mom's doctor wanted her to stay back in Fresno, but she didn't want to go. She didn't want to stay by herself, so even though I was only a month old, she carried me, and we went on a train to. We didn't know where we were going.
And there were my family were in the Fresno Assembly Center before we were sent to our permanent placement. There were 10 camps altogether, and there were 2 in California, and the one was Tule Lake, which was near the Oregon border, and the other one was Manzanar, near the Sierra Nevada mountains. These are very desolate areas.
And we ended up in Arkansas. It was super cold at that time, and so the first thing I did was I got pneumonia. And so I don't really remember much about the camp, but my mother had a very tough time because she had another son who was only a year and a half. And there was, in camp, there was no restroom close by. There was a mess hall you had to go to, so she had to have somebody watch me and my brother while she went to go eat or go to the bathroom or whatever. So she really didn't want to talk too much about camp because she said it just got her angry when she thought about it, all the hardship she went through.
And there were 2 in Arkansas, Jerome and Roar, and there was 1 in Heart Mountain, Wyoming, and in Arizona they had Gila River Camp, and then there was in Idaho, Minidoka, and in Utah there was Topaz, and in Colorado they had a Granada, and another one in Arizona was Poston. And all these sites were there for at least three years or more.
Yeah, I was too little to really understand or remember anything about camp, so I really wanted to know what the area was like that we were sent to. So they had a reunion, or what do you call it, pilgrimage, and we were at Jerome, Arkansas, and Roar, Arkansas. And so I went with my cousins. We went to go see where it was, and the weather is so bad. There's floods, and when we were there, we kind of experienced some of the bad weather that my parents had to endure while we were there. And the area now is they just have a statue there at Jerome. And in Roar, they have some sort of a landmark with there's cemetery and different things. But it's just all a vast open field, and there's nothing there. So anyway, it was a good experience to see what kind of place we had to live in for a couple of years. No, my mom, or a lot of our parents my age, parents of people my age, did not want to talk about camp at all. And my mom would say, she just didn't like to think about it because even the bathroom facilities There was no privacy. They'd have like four potties all in a row and nothing between them. So you had no privacy whatsoever. And all you're eating, the only food you could do is go to the mess hall and eat all together. And my father really did not want to eat lamb. And a lot of Japanese, when they came out of camp, did not want to eat lamb because what they got fed in camp was mutton. And they just did not like mutton at all. But they had to eat whatever they were served. So it was it was kind of hard. They didn't get to eat what they want or when they wanted to either.
I was 5 years old when I went to camp, and I met a friend of mine who's a friend of mine as of today. He was from Seattle, and I was from Seattle, and then we met in kindergarten, and he came back after the war and went to grade school, junior high school, and high school together. And he lives in Redmond right now, and he's still a friend of mine. Other than that, I remember it was cold and it was hot, and I did the usual kid things: play baseball, play around, and other than that, that's all I can remember of camp.
Well, I think maybe one of the reasons that a lot of the Japanese didn't do a lot of protests is that we just went along with whatever happened, because Japanese culture, we were learned the term called gaman. So everybody, the parents would tell us, oh, you just have to gaman. That means you don't fight it, you just persevere with whatever and just do the best you could. So and so that's probably one of the reasons that everybody just went along. When I was a kid, I really did not like to learn about World War II, because whenever they didn't say much in the history book, there was nothing about us being sent to camp at all. All they talked about is the war in Japan, against Japan. So a lot of classmates would look at me, who were not Asian, would look at me and say, why did you do it? And I wasn't even there. I was never in Japan or anything. So, and I feel like that prejudice is still around. Like we can see it now in what's going on with Asians being attacked just because of their race. So I hope this will end soon.